Greetings to everyone world over. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Green morning, green afternoon, green evening. Whatever time zone you are in, whatever countries you are in, we extend you a very hearty welcome. Yet another very powerful evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today is the 271st webinar, Making Education Relevant. Now, this particular series started on 25th of March, and we have come a long way, about a month with the Sector Skill Council for Wellness, about a month with Sector Skill Council for Entrepreneurship, with almost 1 month with the startups, and now we are with the Sector Skill Council Media Entertainment Industry. Very dynamic person from the industry, Mr. Mohit Soni, the CEO. They are doing great job, and of course, Mr. Manish Kumar, the NSDC. So, while extending a hearty welcome to all of you this evening, it's a pleasure. We have got Mr. Jainaressh BC. He is the Education Account Manager, Unity Technology. We extend him a very hearty welcome. He is going to be the speaker and a distinguished guest this evening. As you all are in different countries and different times, so some of us join every day new, whether you are from Spain or you are from France, you are from Germany, you are from Austria, you are from Latin America, or coming from different parts of Seoul, or going down all the way to Sapporo, Hokkaido, Kobe, Kyoto, Fukuoka, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Yokohama, and my friends, those are joining us, brothers and sisters from the ASEAN, Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, Brunei, and of course, little across Bahrain and Middle East. People, those are joining us from Saudi Arabia, Doha, Qatar, Kuwait, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, Dubai, Mauritius, Port Louis, Seychelles, going to African continent. Great regards to Dr. Mishra, the health minister over there. People, those are joining from Senegal, those are joining from South Africa, those are joining from Uganda, Kenya. We extend you a very warm welcome. And of course, how can I forget when I talk about Japan, Shivasanara Tako, Shivasanara Taido, the Shimaso, I will go to Central Asia also. Your wonderful people, those are joining us from Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan, Dobre večer, Daragie Instituta Padalam Teruzma I Upravlenia, Bureau Putitshitvi Rastriya Watch Instituta. So hearty welcome to all of you, those are joining us. And let me go to South Asia, Afghanistan, Bhutan, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Maldives. Great welcome to all of you. And of course, finally we come to the soil. Namaskar, Pranam. आप सब लोगों का हार्दिक स्वागत है भारत की पवित्र भूमि पर। आज की शाम चेन्नई से हमारे साथ जुड़ रहे हैं श्री जैनरेश बीसी जी, जो एजुकेशन अकाउंट मैनेजर है यूनिटी टेक्नोलॉजी की। मेरे सारे भाई बहन जो बिहार से हैं, यूपी से हैं, मध्य प्रदेश से हैं, इंदौर से जुड़ रहे हैं, जयपुर से जुड़ रहे हैं, उन्हें ये ना लगे कि सिर्फ मैं अंग्रेजी भाषा की ही बातचीत कर रहा हूँ। लेकिन क्या करूँ, विदेशों से बहुत सारे लोग जुड़ रहे हैं, तो उनको भी साथ लेना है और आपको भी साथ लेना है। सबका साथ, सबका विकास, उसमें कुछ और भी जोड़ते जाइए तो उसको आगे लेकर चलते जाएंगे। So ladies and gentlemen, while extending a very hearty welcome, 28th of October, Wednesday at 4 minutes past 5 p.m. Let me share a couple of slides with all of you quickly, and thereafter we start today's program. International Chamber for Service Industry since 1994, market research, policy advocacy, government policies, and all the white papers, backgrounder papers, roadmaps, and whatever you talk about in the government interface, innovative strategies and consultancy and training, of course. And we extend a very warm welcome under the dedicated leadership of Mr. Mohit Soni. Is a wonderful soul, wonderful person. Media Entertainment Skill Council is doing a wonderful job. This entire 1 month series is with them, and all the principals in India and in Middle East and other places, those are watching this particular program. Should you wish to take any of the programs of Media Entertainment Skill Council for your children, do let us know. our chamber would be more than happy to put you across to Mr. Mohit Soni at the earliest, because we strongly believe, and I personally believe, media entertainment industry is the only industry which doesn't give you tiredness. You feel happy, you get relaxed, you get soothing, you get fun, you get stimulation, you get reward. You find education is not dry, and education is very innovative and creative and collaborative. When you go to Finland, when you go to South Korea, always people say, what is so special in their education? Ladies and gentlemen, it's teaching pedagogy. And now the new education policy, which is coming in India, we'll share in a little while. So our chamber, all 30 million non-resident Indians world over in the different countries, during this pandemic, when we talk about doctors, nurses, paramedical, they're doing great job. But teachers, counselors, technocrats, the people those are in education fraternity, they are doing great job. And at the same time, when people from media entertainment, and when I talk about gamification, when you talk about augmented reality, when you talk about artificial intelligence, when you talk about cloud computing, Internet of Things, whatever, you give a child a mobile phone with a game, the child is not even going to ask the food from you, what to talk of disturbing you. That is the power of media entertainment industry, which everybody has to understand. So education should be fun. We from India always believe in Vasudev Kutumbakam. That means the whole world is one family. We all are together in difficulties, in pain, in pleasure. We walk together, we talk together, we move together. Heartiest congratulations to Mr. Narendra Modi in India, and with him Dr. Ramesh Pokhriyal, the Education Minister in India, and of course Skill Minister also Dr. Mahendra Nath Pandeyji. This new education policy, which has been announced on 29th of July in India, should you get an opportunity to be a part of it anywhere, you should consider yourself that you have been gifted by the God. Because I always believe in, at the age of 72, how can I be 14 years once again? How do I reverse the biological process? Because coding is going to come from sixth class. And imagine no arts, no commerce, no science. Take any subject. Asha Bhosleji giving a telephone call to the government of India and telling, I'm so happy the children now from the science background can take music, and children from commerce can take fashion designing. Ladies and gentlemen, it's very rewarding and wonderful. During this lockdown, when we collected the stats from about 152 countries, the next misunderstanding globally is going to be on water. There's going to be a water shortage. Places like Bangalore, places like Chennai, places like Punjab, they are going to have, and there are a couple of other places world over. I don't want to name them right now. It's a very alarming situation. Let's give a wake-up call to everybody. Let's get up, get up, get up. We got to save every drop of the water. We cannot afford to waste water anymore. And that will come from home. That will come from family. That will come from parents. That will come from mother. That will come from sister. That will come from wife. And that will come from women empowerment. We need to focus on women empowerment. Ladies play a very important role, ladies and gentlemen. Our chamber from morning 9 o'clock till evening 9 o'clock, 12 hours, complimentary services to the whole world. Early in the morning in Mongolia, in the afternoon in Kazakhstan, in the middle of the day we are in Middle East, and late evening after this program we are in Peru, we are in Argentina, we are in Chile, we are in Costa Rica, we are in Brazil, and we enjoy a Spanish kind of a flavor, art, craft, and cuisine, because our presidents, those are based over there in Latin America, they all join after this program. So anybody needs any kind of a support of any kind in education fraternity, we are for you. No money to be spent, everything complimentary. Ladies and gentlemen, all courses are nowadays complimentary. Make optimum use of technology. That's what I wish to share. This is what we set up with the help of non-resident Indians. Etiquettes, manners, gesture, body language, personality, articulation, critical thinking, analytical thinking, logical thinking, interpersonal relationship, how to go abroad, no money to be spent anywhere. Everything free of cost for every child, every teacher, every educator. And Monday to Friday, that program, and Saturday we take you to Chicago. Swami Vivekanand, 11th of September, 1893, sisters and brothers of universe, getting up from the chairs and everybody, thunder of clapping, this saffron turban and this gentleman, arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. So thereafter, when you have done so much of education, Monday to Friday, Saturday you deserve good health also. Your health and wellness, yoga, meditation, naturopathy, nutrition. This week, this coming Saturday, today is Wednesday, you are going to have a program at 6:30. How not to have stress in your life. Beautiful program is coming. Dr. Arora will be joining you and he'll be giving you the global sermon. And Sunday morning, let's go to Hollywood, Universal Studio, open the gates right in front, Woodbury University, Burbank, Professor Satinder Dhiman, live coming from California, Los Angeles, 75 miles from California, Los Angeles airport, talking on India's Gita, Gita's Upadesh, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and 10 principal Upanishads. And when you talk about it, you understand. If you remembered late Krishna Murthy ji, and if you remember Adi Shankaracharya, there are about 118 Upanishads. Out of that, there are 10 principal Upanishads. Every Sunday morning, we talk at 9:30. What is the relevance of Indian ancient values in today's education system? You've got to understand what is there. And 3 o'clock on Sunday evening, we take you to ASEAN, where education, skill, tourism, research, innovation, wellness, micro, small, and medium enterprise, and all the 8 beautiful states of India, your Tripura, Manipur, Assam, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh, and Sikkim, beautiful states. And we take you all the way to ASEAN. And Sunday last program, micro, small, and the medium enterprise. Ladies and gentlemen, first to 15th century, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, up to 15th century, nobody was unemployed in India. Nobody asked for the job. There was no beggar in India. How Macaulay went all the way and told in the British Parliament, first destroy India's education system, try and remove everything, because unless we don't do that, and you remember what happened with the princely states in India and what exactly was the scenario and how many people sacrificed their lives for the freedom in 1947. So today, when you talk about your entrepreneurship, when you talk about your startup, your stand-up, everything taking into consideration, that is on Sunday evening. So this is the complete canvas, whole week, Monday to Sunday, every evening at 5 o'clock, every day at 12:30 in the afternoon, and every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. with the non-resident Indians globally getting connected with 400,000 people together. We celebrate every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. So this is what the findings during this pandemic, your basic food, your basic health, and your basic education. This is the golden triangle. B2B is no more business to business. It's back to basics and sustainable development. So ladies and gentlemen, whatsoever human mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. Let's get together. Let's make education relevant. What is the purpose of education? Why to go to school? Why to go to college? Why to study? What exactly is there? Why to get a skill? And that's why I'm telling you, media, entertainment industry, education should be stress-free. Education should be rewarding. Education should bring happiness. Education should empower you. And every evening, we bring stars of every evening. Today, from the world over, you will have five little girls joining and they'll share their vision with us. What's the purpose and relevance of education? What is the role of technology in today's education? What does today's youth want? How to create your dream career? And what is women empowerment? We extend a very hearty welcome to them, principals, counselors, teachers, advisors, and all the heads of these schools, colleges, universities. Should you wish your children become the star of the evening, any of the evening, kindly write to Colonel K.C. Menon, the regional advisor, South India, for our International Chamber for Service Industry in India. If you are ringing him from overseas, add +91. His cell number is here, and he is advisor South India @ ICSI.Asia. We are proud of him because he is the one who is ex Army, ex ITC welcome group, and is doing a wonderful job to get the women empowerment stakeholders. So after our distinguished guest of today, our speaker of today, Jainaressh ji would finish with his views, then these five little girls, they will share the vision with all of us. So ladies and gentlemen, here comes a smiling, laughing. I told you, media entertainment industry is happiness. How happy he is. And he's going to make all of you happy this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, we extend a very hearty welcome. He's a leading education initiatives for unity in the Indian subcontinent. He started his career as an avid gamer who turned to become a game designer. In total, he has around about 10 years of experience in designing games on mobile, PC, and console. He has journeyed from a game designer, producer, and consultant for various Indian, UK, and US based game studios. He has designed games for corporate, edu-tech companies, and entertainment moguls across various fields like serious game design, gamification of corporate system, and content design for new interactive medias. Being an educator for the last 8 years, he has worked across various education boards in the UK, US, and India. He shares his experience as Board of Studies member and curriculum course designer for various institutions. We extend him also a very warm welcome from our chamber. He is constantly exploring and fostering many people to adapt education through gaming play approach. We have shot 159 letters to various companies across the world. Those are designing games, and we are telling them, why don't you produce positive games which can be put in schools, colleges, polytechnics, ITIs, AICTE, UGCE, and NIPA, and NCRT, and National Council for Teacher Education. Currently, he is a leading Unity India education initiatives and making unity access to schools and colleges in India as a value added for the Generation Z. And in Army, we call it a Zulu. So, ladies and gentlemen, help me in welcoming, like media entertainment industry, Mr. Jainaressh this evening for this wonderful, and he's already in the gaming world. Look at him. He's looking so handsome, so beautiful. He's flying in the clouds. It appears that he is already somewhere in the gaming zone, gaming world, gaming fantasy. So let's come to our world also. And please share your thought process with all of us this evening and giving a vision to everyone how education can be stimulating positivity with gamification. With these words, hearty welcome to you.
Thank you so much, Doctor, because I think there was a lot of energy that you transferred the ball over to me. And I just see that, I need to carry that enthusiasm around, which is very hard. But yes, like you said, uh, I come from an interactive media. That's the media world that we come with. Okay, and earlier when people used to talk about how we are actually manifesting this concept of learning, right? The first job after my I've been into entrepreneurship, I think right after my grade 1, or even partly through my grade 1, I jumped into entrepreneurship, and I had my first company, which was actually a media company. And I was not even halfway through there, right? Because I'm a grade 12 student and completely unrelated field in the media, and my family comes from a background of business people. And things were very critical at that point of time for me, because I would say I was successful, but not completely, because I still needed to know a lot about the world. I still needed to experience a lot more before I could see, how to bridge the gap between what I intended myself to be and what I was doing at that stage. So that is where I started understanding, what should I learn? And that question came in as hard as possible, because it was very, very mind opening when we were talking with a couple of friends. So one of my friends said, can you explain me why you choose to be in interactive media? And especially at that time, it was all gaming to me, and it was more of a passion. So my first barrier was my parents, right? And when I said, you know what, dad, I'm going to be in the gaming field, he was like literally shocked. He said, I must be absurd. And he was just saying, I'm in my youth, so I'm going to be only looking at that. So the first thing I did is go up and find a dictionary and change that word. Right? And I changed the word not very far away from its original source. We put it as game development.
Okay.
Okay. That still didn't convince my father at that point. And my mother was clueless how it was different, right? So at that point, I had to explain that, game development. Ultimately, these games are practically another software that people build. And this was the age of softwares. The only reason is I'm changing my orientation from a very serious industry into an industry which is just all about targeting fun, right? And I was very happy when you get your wishes granted, you see what is being done. And that is where I met my first mentor, Gil Richards, who gave me some ideas about why games are interesting. Like you said, right? You give a child a game, you come back even after 3 hours, he's still engaged. And how is that possible, right? So he drew in a lot of references to what we used to do as in the traditional India sense, right? He told me, that in the earlier ages of India, we used to play pachisi just to learn counting. We would learn how to count, not through fingers like what we do in classroom. Literally throw in a dice, figure out what is the existing number, add to it. So you're doing addition while you're playing a game, and people never got tired of it. But when you started using your fingers, at one point you start getting tired, right? So what is different? So at that point I understood majorly three differences. Okay. Knowledge, skill, and attitude. So knowledge is, you have a book, you read about it, you love it, you dedicated time with it, and then you start to apply it, right? When you apply it, you understand you're not skilled enough to apply it. If you are creating a sculpture, and the sculpture, let's say a stone sculpture, and it can be only chiseled down by a hammer. How to use a hammer might be something that you can read off a book in, like, let's say 10-20 minutes. But would you get the perfectionist of a real sculptor? That's a huge question that people got delayed with. That is when I understood I was not ready for a complete transformation. And then I chose to study something relevant. So from that point of view, education has always been what is relevant to my need. What is the need of the hour? What should I accomplish? And what is my learning capacity to actually propel it forward? Right? And it's even stands true today. Whenever I've seen myself, move ahead or move one step to the left or right to understand what the industry wants, I see myself learning new things. All this knowledge right? I start practicing them at one point of time, and that becomes my skill. And I've seen a lot of my friends have the same kind of a feedback. When they are able to see the relevance to what they are doing, they're immediately appreciating the knowledge given to them. Else, like all the millennials of today, we also had the question while learning, isse kya hoga? What will happen to this? So this is where things got interesting for me. Today, when we say education to be relevant, one of the biggest challenges I've always been questioned with a lot of people. I am a kind of an educator who sees technology as a tool, similar to the hammer. How do you use the hammer? You could use it to break windows, or you could use it to sculpt sculptures, right? So what is different? It is that advocacy to say, what do you use it for? How do you use it? And learn how to use it better. I've always had this digital divide between me and my parents, right? They always were quizzed around how I got here. At the same time, people were questioning me, right? Oh, this guy is really good in programming. Why doesn't he go to be a software industry? So it was always making and educating people around me that gave me the insight that people might not be visible about everything available around them. The opportunities, the ideas, the propagation of idea to a product, right? So that gave me the space, that gave me the freedom. Insightfully, I still keep thanking my parents for allowing me to, help me test out my ideas and get there. But that is where we are seeing the huge appreciation towards why people need to learn by playing around with what they have. So when we say education through play or gamification, that is precisely what we are at. How do you use technology? How do you make things fun for people to learn, to people to strategize, for people to apply it for a concept? So in my earlier days, when I was working with a few consulting companies, we were talking about how do you actually make a concept easy to learn. And the easiest answer somebody throw is, why don't you actually make a small game out of it? But ultimately, at the end of the seventh brainstorming session, you'll always end up with the answer saying that's one of the toughest choices to move forward. Games, even though they look simple, they have an entirely digital construct of systems inside. When you learn something, games give you instant rewards. If you look at games like Angry Birds, right? You expect an action for something you do. So that is where we came to the play centric learning model, where we are saying, let people play with the subject they would like with. When I give my 8-year-old daughter a few LEDs, batteries, and wires, right? I just give her one way of doing things to say, this is how the bulb lights up. Then it is all her, right? She plays around with it. But in today's world, people call it as tinkering. You're tinkering around with the technology to see where it leads to, right? You're playing and you're experimenting. So normally people ask me a simple question. How do you define playing, right? So I normally ask them to imagine that there are two friends who are meeting by a lake, right? One of them has reached early. He is just standing there, right? And for him to pass a time, he throws a rock into the water. It could be a static one or anything, but most people have an inhibition that, when you're near a water body, you need to throw water around. And the first thing you find is a stone and you drop it inside, right? So you're just playing over there. But at the same time, you exactly tangentially understand what happens to the rock, because you have thrown it many times. You understand this rock of this shape can actually do a double jump, or this particular rock is going to sink straight forward down. There is no one teaching you, and out of inhibition you start learning these things. And this is what in today's world people call as tangential learning. Today media is one such industry. It's a very interesting field, keeps everybody happy and engaged, because in whatever format, we are all storytellers, right? In fact, when some people ask me, how do you identify storytellers? I say, okay, any student who is able to give me more than 5 excuses for why he is late to today's class, I would choose him to be on my team. And even though that puts a lot of people a big question mark, it actually works. A lot of people can say great stories, and out of these great stories, people are able to find great solutions. So that is where we are saying there is a huge shift in today's format and pedagogy. We are seeing people able to tinker around with technology. We're able to see people tangentially learning more things by doing projects. And we are also seeing people who have understood what is research in a very early age, right? And when I say that, they're able to identify why it is happening. The rate in which the children of today are absorbing information is very, very, very far superior to what it was earlier, right? And this is also straining the other side of things, which is it is also creating the digital divide a little big, little more huge canyon for us to cross. But we are able to see that people who are invited to work with technology in the right advocates, right, have done marvelous for themselves. In fact, their visions are too strong that today, if you ask around 20, 25 teens, what do they want to do best? I'm very sure 5 out of these 25 would say, I have a great vision, right? Provided I do not have some kind of inhibition to complete it, it will be a great product for India. And we are seeing that seed today in most of the teens. And that is where this research becomes a huge component to actually take across. So we are able to understand this not alone from the perspective of unity, but we are able to see with any technology where interactivity is at play. Today, there are a lot of companies understanding this particular piece of information, creating interactive learning tools. And these interactive learning tools are very, very, very efficient. When I say that, if you look at the standard way of media, which is linear media consumption, it captures an audience for 40% of the time. Interactive media drastically increases to 20%, which means like 60 to 70%. Once you're on the game, right, you don't know what's happening around you. And remove the point of saying this is an action game and give them an education game, you have a lot of information transferred across. You have people to work with, connect with, and use this across. So that is why my passion has always been in how do you take this education system, pedagogy in place, apply it with these principles which are found as rewarding systems, as great spaces to actually try out and experiment, tinker around, formulate one solution out of multiple choices, and give a holistic learning system to people so that they can use this, right? And the children today are smart enough that they want to be challenged as well. Today, it is no more textbook and question and answers, right? We are seeing children being able to move beyond it. And if we can give that as the pedagogy, I'm very sure we could manipulate and navigate all these information safely for a child to take up in his career as well. So at Unity, that's why we bring the same values, and we are using games technology where we are teaching children how to program, how to use physics, what happens in the real world, how they can actually simulate real world in their own life. And we were very surprised when one of the students said, this is his car. And automatically he has integrated with our AI plugin and said, this is how the car will actually navigate in my house. Right? And it was pretty surprising, interesting to see these kind of digital thinkers. At the same time, when he's just a 13 to 14-year-old doing this, it actually puts the awe in place, and we are able to see that the parents are not able to understand and compute this.
Yes.
So Going forward, we want to support and say, have tech-based education, have a space where your child can experiment, at the same time allow multiple choices, because one child is not equivalent to all, and there are multiple learning pathways for people to choose from and actually take it forward. And that's why we are saying, to make education relevant as of today, we would like to work with all and see what best we can help with.
Wonderful, wonderful. In fact, it's so well said, and you have given in such a simple packaging the entire thing. I'm always for the gaming. I'm always for the games. I want children no stress, no anxiety, no pressure, no percentage marks or something of that kind. Rather, education should be altogether different the way it should be imparted. Now, how do we work out a strategy? I'm for it. If I teach a child something through a positive gamification, uh, whether management or engineering or arts or commerce or science or for that matter medical, non-medical, whatever, I don't want to compartment on that. So how do you want, because basically the challenge is, the problem is, most of the game producing companies, they consider and they think that when there will be a destructive games, in the sense, like I'm telling you PUBG, what it
Hmm.
brought to India, what it
Hmm.
brought to India. I have seen grown-up children also, while sitting in the toilet also. I'm sorry I'm giving such an example, but that's a part of life. While sitting in a toilet also, hey, push it from this side. I'm coming from here. He's shouting from the toilet. So you don't know what is he doing in toilet at that point of time. So what I'm telling is, the thing is, why can't we work out a strategy that some association or some forum, or already I am getting in lots of my NRI friends. In fact, this Sunday, there are three people, those are coming from, those, they are originally from Bangalore, Chennai, and Hyderabad. They are my three speakers, those are coming on empowering education from Texas, from New York, and from Chicago. They are the three NRIs. Those are going to talk about the education Sunday evening, 7:30 p.m. And all of us, I was telling them also, everybody is in for games. Everybody wants games, but they say why companies don't understand. And I don't know the name of that company. There's some Japanese, Tokomono or pata nahi kya. I don't know what is.
Pokemon Go.
Uh, what is that?
Pokemon Go.
Yeah. So my grandchild all the time, and he telling me, Granda, you know about it? Do you know how to play it? I'm saying, a 6-year-old child, he says, Grandpa, you don't know this? Grandpa, you can't play. Now let's come from this side. Let's watch how this bird is going. I'm telling you, education can be so interesting. Your industry can play such an important role. And I'm of a firm opinion. Just before your session, we had another session where I had a golden triangle, three ladies principal. Those are having huge experience, long experience, 20 years experience. They are principals. And I was telling them that, look, why media entertainment? And our thought was, why music should not be the integral part of education. That was the deliberation we were talking about. And huge response. All children posting me on the YouTube. Yes, yes, yes. This old man is right. What he's thinking is right. He understands our mind. And our teacher, our principal, they are not understanding. So my request to you is, can we work out a strategy? Can we work out? I do not know how to go by it. I'm
So,
very, yes, I'm very keen. I've got a complete forum of all the principals across India and globally, all the CBSE schools which are there. There are 218 schools in the Middle East alone which are under CBSE. All the high commissions everywhere. I'm telling you, let's work out and plan a strategy. The gamification in a positive way, convincing it will enhance creativity, it will enhance collaborative, it will enhance. I do not want destructive, tuk, 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 chish, tha, tu, no, not that. Coming from armed forces, I want children to pick up positivity through the games. Please guide on that.
Sure. So let me throw in a few examples of
Yeah.
positivity in games, right? So there are a lot of use cases which comes into. One of the first thing is, uh, have you heard of a company called? Oh, okay. A better example is virtual laboratories, right?
Yes.
So if you look at today, some of the Unity partners, they create some of the best astounding virtual laboratories.
Okay.
And this, again, I have to relate to my personal experience. I was always fascinated with the burettes and pipettes in my chemistry lab, right? And there was sometimes, okay, we had to sneak behind the teacher and see what these clear liquid does when you mix them together, which is pretty dangerous. Right? So Labster is one of the use cases that I would like to bring on here. So they did create a fascinating series of virtual laboratories for schools, and today they are even beyond schools, right? So you can have like, because it makes a lot of sense at this moment of time to say a seventh grader or an eighth grader could just log into these virtual labs, do their experiment online, right? And the second part of it, which is play around with it, right? Literally, you could see, okay, what happens when you put benzene and rock salt together, right? You could try various other examples which are out of your 10 exercises that you need to fill in your book. So this is a very positive experience that people are learning with, right? And then we have Creative, who's actually creating a series of challenges that can be only solved if you know which Newton law to use against what, right? And so you're role playing yourself as a character who's coming from left, taking a journey, moving around, and actually going across multiple regions. And then you're seeing this very fascinating experience where you're problem solving. Your whatever you have learned is the knowledge, and you're becoming intelligent by applying it. And since you're applying it and practicing it, you are very skillful in your intelligent part, right? And the attitude change that we are able to bring into these students, right? Where people say, I can't do this. Okay, I can do only what's written on the textbook. And then you have these children who are used to these problem solving activities, who don't think twice, and they're ready for the challenge. So you have people who are not afraid of this, right? And you're able to do problem solving, and you're able to move ahead in their particular scope. Then you have something like neuronations, right? Where they're able to break down a concept based on the complexity the child is being identified with. So if a child finds a particular concept, let's say, for example, photosynthesis, too complicated, right? They take the child on an assisted journey, showing people about how you could actually, dismantle the whole thing, have comic relations of the same, and understand it back together. So we are seeing a lot of activities happening from, I think 5 years back. Everybody has started to get inside gamification to understand how best we could use this for education. The challenges here are every state, every country, right? Every scope has their own boards to work with, right? And these boards keep changing the syllabus every 5 years or 6 years based on different temperaments. So we need the solution provider to understand that first. When somebody understands that, it's easier for them to align to. And we are seeing a lot of humanitarian notions coming around from it. In my current company, we have Unity for Humanity, which focuses on all these initiatives. Apart from that, we are working with UNESCO in a big format to see what we can highlight, what can be actually shown across. And you have variety of community organized events called Design for Change, right? These kind of events say, okay, come out of the traditional thinking, you're coming there. So Like still remember one of the parents coming down and saying, okay, name me one game which is constructive, right? And I would go with them like Scribble Knots, Crayon Physics Deluxe. I would give them a series of names and they would be surprised. The negativity towards gaming is because of the few incidents which are being spotlighted in the media, right? And people think only of those because it's been big, it has been something captured and propagated around as, okay, gaming is only shooting and running around. If you look at the vast majority of games, apart from the 30% action games, there's a lot of constructive material that parents can still use to actually engage with the children, right? So today we are open to participate in any forum that we are getting invited to. In fact, we were recently invited to the NCRT's first discussion on how we can actually propagate this in India. We are also closely working with the CDAC, and we want to identify what would be India specific changes that we can support in the market to bring about some kind of cohesive working towards that. In fact, when people talk about gaming today, the first thing that people only think about is the programming part of gaming. If you want to make a game, you need to learn programming or the logical steps required to get your game working. But apart from that, there is a lot of visual fidelity which is involved in making the games. So a child understands what's clean versus unclean. He understands which color goes with what. He understands the balance of life, right? And these are some of the interesting children that we have seen, that they go on to become interior designers, space designers, sustainable infrastructure designers. And this gives the idea for people to understand putting a system cohesively in a very safe sandbox environment should be what is projected. The ground root problem that we are still facing in India is going to be on the novelty idea that immediately I can teach my child programming with games technology. But moving beyond it, nobody has the time to understand and engage what are the other benefits that people get. What are the other things that I can explore, right? And there is no must today to say a child who learns something in games technology does only that. Today we have seen the diversity of people that we have, right from scientists all the way to as simple as somebody as a story artist. And we are able to see how this interactive world works very tandem with media. We have seen children taking cameras as young as, let's say, age 13 and 14, going down to the streets, shooting public service announcements, coming back and saying, I got this idea because I did this kind of a game sometime earlier. So there is a lot of learning experiences. In fact, when we look at a history of games in India, right from all the way to today's chess, snake and ladders, or any of those sorts, right? We have all had roots in India, and games have been part and parcel of the learning that had actually happened in Gurukul. And that is one of the most effective tools where people have been taught how to do the most engaging format. So if
But
we could go back to that same standard of using it by understanding it is no more just textbook and a reference to go with, we would make humongous changes, and we would love to be part of any of those groups and experiments that you want us to participate and help and guide them.
our chamber really would be more than happy, because we want to do all experiential things for children. And that's why the title what we have given, and this will remain, making education relevant.
Perfect.
Because education has to be relevant from teacher's point of view also, from learner point of view also. When you are telling about UNESCO, we are already working very closely with Mr. Eric, who is a director in India, and along with him, Mr. Omar and Madam Huma. They all in Chanakapuri for the whole country. They are taking care of. NCRT Dr. Amrinder Behra, he is
Yep.
the person, yeah, ICT head is taking care of. And of course, Dr. Senapati, the NCRT director. So that is also. Another organization you told about CDEC, fine. you must get in touch with National Council for Teacher Education also. It is
Sure.
NCTE. NCTE will be again very important. Mr. Mohit Soni can put you across. Should you need any help, any support over there, why I'm telling is because ultimately, if the teachers are empowered, then only the youth are going to be empowered. We got to focus on teachers. And in a very polite way, if I make a mention, teachers also have now to go to school to learn certain new pedagogies because the things are changing so fast. And the other day I was talking to some of the corporate, and it is becoming so serious to understand. They say here is schools, colleges, and universities, and here are corporate sector. So these corporate are deliberating, hey, who gives the idea that this change should be brought in education, in teaching? This should be the new kind of software which should come. If we are giving this idea to schools, colleges, and institutions, and by the time they will change their syllabi after getting the approval at various echelons, it will become obsolete and obsolescent. So, I think we need speed. We need speed in education system to match with the corporate sector requirements. And that's why everybody talks there's a skill gap. That skill gap, it is only, I'm convinced at this age, it is media, entertainment, it is fun, it is stimulating, it's a happiness, it's all these pedagogies, when we talk about media entertainment can bring. You gave such a beautiful example of chess. Let's take an example of snake and ladder. I used to play, I still recollect as a small child, just putting that, star over there and then going up and then snake down, bringing you back onto the bottom. And those games and Estapu and then that stones and playing so many things. It's all games. And we got to understand. I think your organization has to take a lead somewhere. Let's bring different stakeholders from different arena together with the Media Entertainment Skill Council. I think we all can do wonders. Our chamber would be more than happy to extend any kind of a support, getting principals, all principals together from world over and India would be our chamber responsibility. That is the way we can work it out, we can plan it out, and then it can trickle down. And this evening, I would make a request, kindly get across to National Council for Teacher Education,
Sure.
NCTE. Its office is near railway station, metro station number 10, Dwarka. Right in front, the moment you come out from there, it is right over there, sector 10. Sector 10. So you must get across to them, try and find out. We will also give you all the leads, all the inputs, whatever is needed. And then one day, let us organize a special program, one day exclusively for ASEAN, one day exclusively for Middle East, one day for Central Asia. So like that, we can work out a strategy and we can plan it out. We can take it forward.
We can take it forward. We are happy to be there and support of this.
God bless you. Anything you would like to tell in your concluding remarks? Anything?
I am still waiting to see the stars of the show today.
God bless you. You are the star of the show. We are proud of you. And if you have got a time, then 1 minute each they will take to express their views. And thereafter, we can have your final concluding remarks. Would you be kind enough to give 5-6 minutes more of yours to listen to them?
Always.
Okay. I'm so grateful to you. I'm so
Thank
grateful.
you.
Okay. So thank you very much. We will get back to you once again, and you can just on the watch and listen to these small kiddies. Okay, Soumya, great evening. God bless you, child. Hearty
Good
welcome.
evening. Good evening.
Pleasure to have. Pleasure to have. The whole world is seeing you. Come on, go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Dream is not what you see in sleep. Dream is the thing which doesn't let you sleep. Good evening, everyone. My name is Soumya Nema. and I will be talking about the topic One's Dream Career. Dream stands for dare, reach, educate, achieve, and motivate. Lead with your strength, analyze what makes you happy, which field is interesting for you. You have to seek in that interest. Dream career is like putting your heart into your work. Whatever work you are choosing or doing, respect and contribute towards it. Don't choose a career for the sake of money. It will be like pressurizing yourself to go against of your passion and your interest. It's your career. Choose it wisely. Be dedicated. You will be successful. At last, I would like to say that why to be a follower when you can be a leader? Live your passion, follow your dreams. Thank you.
God bless you,
All
child.
right,
God bless
great.
Thank you.
you. Thank you. See, Jainaressh is also conveying blessings to you. Wonderful. Namrata, good evening, child. Namrata.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, great evening, beta. Please go ahead.
I'm Namrata Chandorkar, and today I'm going to share my views on the topic of women empowerment. Women empowerment refers to making women powerful and to make them capable of deciding for themselves. However, women have suffered a lot throughout the years at the hands of men. At the hands of men, women should be given equal opportunities for everything. However, there is a long way to go. There is still a long way to go when we talk about the reason why we need it. One of the major hindrances in the advancement and development of women is gender inequality. On one side, male child is always encouraged by the family to go to school, while the female child is told to learn household chores. Similarly, the women who do actually work get less as compared to their male colleagues. However, it is downright sexist and unfair to pay someone less on the basis of their gender. If we wish to see a nation that develops economically on the global front, we need to make the women economically independent. There are various ways in how we can empower women. The government and several NGOs are making effort to empower women by creating awareness. The government is running a lot of projects for the education and skill development of women, so that women can be economically independent. Women should be given equal opportunities irrespective of their gender. Irrespective of their gender, one way to empower women is by abolishing child marriage. Women empowerment also means that society will also accept women as crucial decision makers for economic and financial decisions of their family. A woman should be given equal pay, equal respect, and equal opportunity as equal to a man. We aspire for such a nation. Thank you.
Thank you, beta. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
My daughter always tells me that you devote more time for your daughter than for me. So parents, father and mother, of course, she's always there, but father, they are always in a very secret way fond of their daughters more than mother. Ask your
Very
papa.
true.
Yes,
And
your
I'm here seconding that.
Yes, your papa would be so loving and he would always see, where is my daughter Namrata? Okay, God bless you, child. God bless you.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
Ayushi, good evening. Great evening, beta. Ayushi, good evening. Are you
Good
there?
evening, sir.
Yeah, are you there, beta?
I am. Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, please go ahead. Please go ahead, Beta.
Very good evening, everyone. My topic for the day is purpose of education and its relevance. It is traditionally believed that education is essential for the development of one's mind as it binds the building bridges of a person's life. Yet, the purpose of the discussion behind the purpose of education is one of the least mentioned topics. Most people believe that the definition of education can be confined into one word, that is study. And this stereotype has forced many people to create brilliant and intelligent minds that find it very difficult to fit themselves into the society in their day-to-day lives. And I think one of the main loopholes in fulfilling the purpose of education is ignoring personal and mental development. The criteria of learning shouldn't just be limited towards data, factual knowledge, and the school syllabus. I personally believe that even facts and knowledge will always require a right attitude and the right etiquettes to be presented before anyone. I think that the school should adapt ways of learning so that the students can indulge the learning into the day-to-day lives. They can make it relevant to the day-to-day situations. And the main aim has to be the personal and moral development to make sure that the students are comfortable in their own skin and can express themselves freely. Because at the end of the day, all of these things hold equal importance as the bookish knowledge or the syllabus that we are being taught in schools. And I think education system has now started supporting practical knowledge and experimental based studying. But I think that they also need to promote enhancing oneself rather than making it all about formulas, derivations, and marks, because it only ignites competition among students. I think that it is very important to create a balance between knowledge and the values that a person might need in their day-to-day lives. Because at the end of the day, it's all education is all about creating a developed personality rather than judging a person based upon the skills of learning. And as even sir mentioned, it is all about making education relevant, even students as well as teachers.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. The best takeaway from the entire conversation is education should be relevant to our day-to-day life and day-to-day living. That is something very good takeaway from you. Okay, Kruti, good evening, child.
Very good evening, sir.
God bless you, beta. Please go ahead.
Sure, sir. Before I start, I would like to thank ICSI and Media and Entertainment Skill Council for providing us with this platform. And it's my privilege to be the voice of youth today and express my opinions on what does today's youth want. So, to start with,
Very interesting. What does today's youth want? Yes,
definitely, sir.
very good topic. Great. Yes, go
Yes,
ahead.
sir. So, to start with, many are of the opinion that the youth today are all about materialistic gains, which is not true. We, as the youth today, want equal opportunities and development in all sectors. No matter which demographic or geographical location we are coming from, all our efforts are channelized towards one single aim, that is to create a better place for all. An environment where men, women, child, and aged all are provided with equal opportunities, where creativity and innovation are above degrees, counts of experiences and certificates. We as a youth want that our coming generation does not need to think twice before choosing the right career due to lack of resources and opportunities, which you rightly said that it, as so mentioned, Mr. Jainish sir, that it is right to develop the skills among people so that they are more able to choose the right career at the right time. In a nutshell, I would say that we want equality in all aspects, the best of all to create the better for all. Thank you.
Wow, wow.
Beautiful.
Equal opportunity, creativity, innovation. Wow, that's great. God bless you, child.
Thank you,
Janavi,
sir.
Janavi, good evening, beta. Hearty welcome.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, please go ahead, beta. Please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. This is Janvi Singh, and today I'll be talking about role of technology in education. Role of technology in education is very important and we of all have witnessed this in recent times more than ever. When everyone including students and teachers were stressed about pandemic, we somehow managed to fit or adapt new normal. From online classes to online exams, ed- technology has proved its worth in when it comes to education. Not only while we're at home, but even in physical classes or in classrooms, technology plays a vital role because multimedia classes has turned out to be an amazing way to engage with students and teach them. Not Technology is also important in some of the courses like digital marketing and VFX, where gadgets like laptops and iPads are mandatory. Technology also opens new doors for us, for an individual to learn a new thing or develop a hobby. To conclude, I would say that technology by far is the only thing that have made us accessible to many ways and is helping us increasing knowledge every day in new ways. Thank you.
God bless you, beta. God bless you. Thank you very much. Thank you. It was so nice to hear you, technology. So let me get the technology man back to us. Jainaressh, it's such a
I'm still
pleasure.
here.
The last person talked about technology. It is such a sheer coincidence. I would request all children kindly switch on your cameras, please, because it's the final take on the YouTube and it will go live to the whole world. Let everybody see across the entire world. These little kiddies, they are the future, they are the tomorrow, they are the one those have brought this entire change in the universe. They will bring change in the universe. And let me reassure to all my girl children today, every father is proud of their daughter. Every father. So thereby, always think that your dad misses you, although mom always pretends she loves you more. But remember, your father misses you more than your mom. It's always there. I come from armed forces. In my whole life, I never, ever cried. But when my daughter got married, something was happening. Toop, toop, toop. And she told, "What's happening?" I said, "I don't know what's happening." So what I'm telling you is every daughter is a treasure. She is so precious. So you all got to be proud of your parents. Okay, थोड़ा credit mama को भी दे देते हैं, but Papa is more lovable. Papa always listens to you. He has got a very soft corner. He doesn't show. He doesn't know like mama how to package it and how to show. But Papa always loves you more than. Remember that in your life. Remember that. It's always father. I do not know what happens to father. Okay. Jayareshi, let's come back to technology because the last child spoke about technology. So these are every day I get 5, 6 girls, and it's all girls, women empowerment. We talk about what is the purpose of education, how to find your passion, what technology can do, and at the same time, today one child has not come. We talk about water crisis also. One child talks about water passion also. So like that, every day we get. Where is my one more child? Where is she? Where is she? Okay, fine. Please go ahead. Jainaressh, then we will close the program. Please go
Sure.
ahead.
So
Yeah.
ultimately, to sum it up in a line, I would say play, tinker, construct, and view technology as a tool to propel you forward. Right?
Wow.
The summation of and I thank everybody for on being on here, sharing their views on what they are expecting to move across. And I am also a proud father of a daughter.
Ah,
So I share
okay.
the same sentiments by saying that let's empower everyone equally.
Yes, yes. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much. It was a great to have you on this particular show. Our deepest regards and thanks to Mr. Jainaressh. We look forward to working with him closely in near future. Let's empower India. Let's empower Asia. Let's empower all continents. Let's empower humanity. Let there be more peace, prosperity, growth, happiness through technology and through gamification. Because the games ultimately, life is a game. जिस भगवान ने थोड़ा हिंदी में जिस भगवान ने संसार बनाया है उसने भी गेम खेला है गेम खेला है ये प्रकृति भी गेम है we are the part of this universe cosmos so he's also playing game with all of us let's enjoy the game and gamification so our deep thanks to you thank you very much for sparing your most valuable time to be with us thank you very much to Media Entertainment Skill Council, Mr. Mohit Soni and Pooja Arora and all other stakeholders those have supported and our blessings to our children and green morning, green afternoon, green evening, world over, wherever you are, enjoy your day, enjoy your afternoon, but eat healthy, eat less, eat nutritious, remain organic and be happy. Enjoy the gamification with Mr. Jainaressh PCG.